All right, I want to start off. Call hello, La Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rachak, Kodash Rakatah. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the Akim around the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth for faith and sincerity and risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Shalom to the confusion of face brethren out there that we're hoping to join onto our ranks. Shalom that's joined on and that we're Salakia that's joined on and that we're hoping to join onto our ranks. Salakia for that. Shalom to the Akwaf, to the Akim out there listening and learning. Hopefully this is an edifying video. Once again, it's the brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, coming at you with another lesson. A fellow faithful servant, and I told you, I've been doing a series because being that Apostle Tahar deemed this the year of Karagma, the year of the chip. I see a lot of brothers going into the chip and being watching to see any news coming out about the chip. Like I said, I had a book that I was going into called Beast Tech, and I got a couple different books. They all as far as what Esau want to do with his society, and they talk about the chip, they talk about transhumanism. So the one book I got, well, I want to bring out a scripture first, and then we'll go into the book. This is Ezekiel 28:3. The word of the Lord came unto me, saying, verse 2, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus. So the prince of Tyrus would be, the modern day prince of Tyrus would be, Esau, the Edomite. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of Yahweh in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not a God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of Yahweh. Verse 3, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret they can hide from thee. Verse 4, with thy wisdom and with thy understanding thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. Verse 5, with the great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches. So he's prideful. And who is the most prideful person on this planet? I mean, you got some two-third jakes that's prideful, but it's Edomite. I mean, like I said, I don't know about anybody else. I mean, not to digress, but I'm in a camp. I've literally got testimonies when you tell. I mean, I literally watched the Edomite. We sit up there cussing him the fuck out, and this motherfucker say, we cussing him out about what he did to Gad. This motherfucker say, oh, well, you care. You know what I mean? Like it was Gad. They call him the Indian. That's our brother. This is the mindset of a fucking Edomite, and two-third niggas because they are as their father the devil. You know what I mean? Verse 6, therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of Yahweh. Verse 7, behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and shall defile thy brightness. Verse 8, they shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. So, I mean, that is the future of the so-called white man, Esau the Edomite, because of his pride, because of, his ways. But at the same time, I brought that scripture out because he is wiser than Daniel. Daniel was a very wise man. You got to remember, not only was he like set in a high position in one kingdom, with Nebuchadnezzar, he was set in another high position with what was that, Cyrus or Darius, when the Medo-Persians conquered the land. So, what I'm saying? Like, he was esteemed as a wise man. But it's saying that Esau, I mean, that scripture saying that Esau is wiser. And, I mean, to a certain extent, yeah, because, I mean, look at what some of the things that Esau is doing. I mean, like, people don't even, like, they say that what we think and believe is far-fetched, but don't even realize what this Edomite is planning or have planned or what he's capable of doing or what he's doing. You got to remember, he don't even make known everything that he can do. You got to remember, technology gets released in increments. You know what I mean? Like they say, the technology we using ain't the technology that he has available. Usually what they say, 8, 9, 10 generations ahead of what we're using now. So anyhow, the name of the book is called The Future of Humanity. The Future of Humanity by Micho Kaiku. And it talks about all Esau's you know, what is that scripture where it says he thinks that where it basically talks about how he doesn't see his kingdom being I mean he thinks his land is gonna live forever. Bear with me for a second. So lucky I can't find it. Anyhow, I think it's in the Psalms where it says how they lead they lands, they name their lands after their own names, and I can't remember, but I'm roughly paraphrasing, but it's a scripture where it basically goes into how they don't look at them ever being like brought down. You know what I mean? Because that's how prideful they are. You know what I mean? Not realizing that the Most High actually gave them the strength to actually get in the position where they conquered the whole planet at the end of the day. But he also is raising up these other nations too, just like biblical prophecy actually foretells. But not to digress, and I don't have much time to do this lesson. But like I said, I wanted to go into this book. Like I say, the subtitle is Transhumanism and Technology. So it starts off in the movie. The paragraph starts off in the movie Iron Man. Suave industrialist Tony Stark dons a sleek, computerized suit of armor, bristling with missiles, bullets, flares, and explosives. It quickly transforms a frail human into a powerful superhero. But the real magic is on the inside of the suit, which is crammed with the latest computer technology, all controlled by a direct connection with Tony Stark's brain. At the speed of thought, he can rocket into the sky or launch his incredible array of weaponry. As fanciful as Iron Man may be, it is now possible to build a version of this device. Did you hear that? I'm going to repeat it. As fanciful as Iron Man may be, it is now possible to build a version of this device. This is not just an academic exercise, since one day we may have to alter or enhance our bodies using cybernetics or even change our genetic makeup in order to survive in a hostile explanatory environment. Transhumanism, instead of being a branch of science fiction or a fringe movement, may become an essential part of our very existence. Furthermore, as robots become increasingly powerful and even surpass us in intelligence, we may have to merge with them or face being replaced by our creation. Let us explore these various possibilities, especially as they relate to exploring and colonizing the universe. And, like I said, that's that old lie all the way back to the garden, you know what I mean? You know, how, we be as gods. And, the Israelites, we are, small g's, we are as gods because we are, our power is, we are princesses of the power, Yasha. But at the same time, you know, how is the clay gonna say to the potter, how have you formed me? You know what I mean? Like roughly paraphrasing. You know. I was just telling somebody about that, like, got this dumbass guy, he swears up and down because he think he go to church Sundays and go to, he's on the board at the fucking church or something. He think that he's just, he don't even understand scripture. He literally, not to digress, but I can't stand this dude. You know what I mean? I'm really considering sending up curses on him. You know what I mean? And trust me, it ain't. I fear it because the thing is, I try to use it responsibly because I know those curses work. You know what I'm talking about? Anyhow, though, like the dude just a weak beta male dude that got something Esau system, but he brainwashed and deaf to him. I hope I kill him and his fucking family just because of some fact. You know what I mean? Like that's the only saving. That's the only way he gonna be saved. You know what I mean? Like you cannot. Well, the most I could do anything, but you know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I gotta tolerate this dude. Like, yeah, tolerate me for like another good 9 months. I mean, Salakia, hell no, Salakia for that, or 9 weeks. Uh, Continue. I'm gonna read this part. It says, "Super strength. The world was shocked in 1995 when Christopher Reeve, the handsome actor who played Superman in the movies, was tragically paralyzed from the neck down in an accident. Reeve, who soared into space on the screen, was confined permanently to a wheelchair and was able to breathe only with the help of a respirator. His dream was to use modern technology to regain control of his limbs. He died in 2004, just a decade before this was accomplished. So they're saying in 2014, at the 2014 World Cup in Sao Brazil, Sao Paulo Brazil, a man kicked a soccer ball to start the game, an event witnessed by a billion people. This by itself was not remarkable. What was remarkable was that this man was paralyzed. Professor Miguel Nicolias of Duke University had asserted that chip into the man's brain. The chip was connected to a portable computer that controlled his exoskeleton. By simply thinking, this paralyzed individual was able to walk and kick the ball. When I interviewed Dr. Nico Alice, he said that when he was a child, he memorized Salakia. He was mesmerized by the Apollo mission to the moon. His goal was to create another sensation like the moon landing. Wiring that paralyzed patient so he could kick the ball at the World Cup was a dream come true. It was his moonshot, and it just makes me think about the that movie Upgrade. That's the spirit because brother Barack in the Ancient of Days camp, LA camp, he was just speaking on that movie, and when I've seen the movie, I knew the movie deserved a video, you know what I mean, and then it's just the way the spirit moved. Apostle Tahar deemed this year the year of the Karagma, and I came across all these different books. So, Salakia. Continuing. I once interviewed John Donahue of Brown University, one of the pioneers of this approach. He told me that it takes a bit of training, like riding a bicycle. But soon his patients are able to control the motion of an exoskeleton and can do simple tasks such as grabbing a cup of water, operating household appliances, controlling a wheelchair, and surfing the web. This is possible because the computer is able to recognize certain brain patterns associated with specific body movements. The computer can then activate the electroskeleton so that these electrical impulses are converted into action. One of his paralyzed patients was elated that she could grab a cup of soda and drink from it. Something that was previously beyond her capability. Work done at Duke, Brown, Johns Hopkins, and other universities has given the gift of mobility to people who had long given up hope that they would never move again. And the U.S. military has devoted more than $150 million in a program called Revolutionary Prosthetics, Slovakia, to sponsor these devices for the benefit of veterans from Iraq, Afghanistan, and many of them suffering from spinal cord injuries. Eventually, thousands of people who are confined in wheelchairs and beds, whether as results of warfare, car accidents, disease, or sports injuries, may be able to have the use of their limbs back again. Besides exoskeletons, another possibility is to strengthen the human body biologically to live on a planet with greater gravity. This possibility was raised when scientists discovered a gene that caused muscles to expand. This was first found in mice when a genetic mutation caused mice to become muscle-bound. The press dubbed it the Mighty Mouse gene. Later, the human form of this gene was found and was dubbed the Schwarzenegger gene. The scientists who isolated this gene expected phone calls from doctors wishing to help their patients suffering from degenerative muscle diseases. They were surprised, however, when half the calls that came in were from bodybuilders who wanted to bulk up, and most of them did not care that this research was experimental with unknown side effects. Already, it is causing headaches for the sports industries because it's much harder to detect than other forms of chemical enhancement. And you know what I'm saying? Then when brothers bring out the super soldiers, you know what I mean? Like when you had that movie, The Bourne Identity, not with damn, I can't think of dude's name. Not with the original dude that played Jason Bourne, but the one with the guy that played sometimes I ain't good with Matt Damon. Matt Damon played the original Jason Bourne, but then the last one had that guy that played on the Avengers, and the last one was showing you how they was enhancing the soldiers. Because remember, he could run faster. You know what I mean? Like he was taking drugs as opposed to like I think Matt Damon, like they just was conditioned to actually that was it still did them to trade it, but that last one I think it's not the Boer Ultimatum. I can't remember the name of it, but they was literally taking drugs. You know what I mean? It was like they created super soldiers. Wow! Breaking news: Call Law Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. It's breaking news: a mall shooting, huh? in Alabama. Well, judgment. Anyhow, continuing. Having the ability to control one's muscle mass may prove important if we explore planets that have a gravitational. I'm gonna skip that. Enhancing ourselves, because Esau's under the illusion, like I said, that they houses would live forever. I'm about to find that scripture. Bear with me. Salakia, that's the spirit. I knew it was in the Psalms. It's bothering me. This is a scripture on Esau. Let me bear with me. All right. Okay. This is Psalm 49:11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own name. Who is the only people that call these lands after their own name? Like Africa, which is named after Scipio Africanus. Scipio Leo Scipio Africanus. You know what I'm saying? When what I mean, different names. That continent was named. At one point, a Negro land. So you know what I mean. At the end of the day, they really don't see themselves. That's why they can make books and talk about, in the year 2255 we'll be, on Mars. You know what I mean? Where it's scriptures that say that, Most High has set a boundary where, is a day appointed for this man to go down. I'm not even going to get that scripture. I'm going to continue reading. It says, enhancing ourselves. In addition to enhancing our muscles, scientists have begun to use this technology to sharpen our senses. People who suffer from certain kinds of deafness now have the option of using cochlear implants. These devices are remarkable, capable of transforming the sound waves coming into the ear into electrical. I'm sleepy. It's Salakia. Most High moved the spirit through me. I finished this lesson. Salakia for that, Akim. It says transforming the sound waves coming to the ear into electrical signals that can be sent to the auditory nerve and then the brain. Already about 500,000 people have chosen to have these sensors implanted. And for some of those who are blind, an artificial retina can restore a limited amount of vision. This device can be located either in an external camera or it can be placed directly on the retina. This device translates visual images into electrical impulses that the brain can then translate back into imagery. One example, the Argus 2, consists of tiny video cameras placed in a person's glasses. The images are then sent to an artificial retina, which relays a signal to an optic nerve. This device can create images of about 60 pixels and can and 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 an improved version now being tested has a resolution of 2400 pixels. By contrast, the human eye can recognize the equivalent of about a million pixels, and a person needs at least 600 pixels to identify faces and familiar objects. A German company is experimenting with another artificial retina with 1500 pixels that, if successful, might allow a vision impaired person to function almost normally. Blind individuals who have tried these artificial retinas have been amazed that they can see colors, outlines of images. It's only a matter of time before we have artificial retinas that can rival human eyesight. And that's the trick, though. You know what I mean? That's how they're going to get a lot of people. Because it tells you in the book, the Apocrypha, that the world to come is made for a few. This world was made for many. A lot of people is going to fall into this beast system because of all the perks that come with it. Of course, the people that's been handicapped and couldn't walk for the last 10, 15 years, and then you insert a chip in me, they not thinking about no Bible prophecy. You know what I mean? Like, they give me my, they carnal. You know what I mean? That's what most people, you know what I mean? We ain't even seen the carnality when it comes down to people about to not to have to eat. I mean, like I said, all that Christian church and the kumbaya go out the window when the shit hit the fan, for real. Come on, you got to remember, take the time to think about this. Since everybody want to bring this shit up and love the white man so fucking much, or the so-called white man so fucking much. You gotta remember these people came to fuck over here to this land, didn't know how the fuck to survive, was dying over in this bitch for real. And the natives, the tribes of Gab and Reuben, you know what I'm saying? Actually, because I mean, that just show you something, you know what I mean? They actually helped the motherfuckers survive. And what did they do? They motherfucking, you know what I mean, took the land from them. So, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, them motherfuckers is the devil, man. They the demons, man. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Like, so my point of bringing that up is, you know, not just, I mean, like I say, you don't know, they taught them how to live off that land because, they probably wasn't used to the conditions of the land or whatnot. But my point being is when shit get scarce and when things get like suspect, you know what I mean? People tend to become carnal. You know what I mean? You have a few people, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Dudes, well, I ain't gonna say dudes because, well, yeah, I will because them ain't real brothers. Like the brother I was just listening to, you know, they video when they was having camp, and they was saying, I mean, because we in amazing times, you know what I mean? Like people don't realize what they got their feet in. You know what I mean? Like you don't know what you stepped into, you know. And that's the thing about Jake. Jake like to be a part of something for the moment and then get out. That's what people ain't really recognizing. No matter if you part of GMS or if you one of these motherfucking IU, IUIC or whatever. I mean, one of the different splinter groups, the ones that's not teaching the truth. Just by you sitting up there saying you an Israelite, you caught up in this thing. So they coming after the ones that they think are the most militant or the most revolutionary to the ones that just, oh, I'm just doing this because, it's something to do. You're all lumped in that. That's why you got that different color list. All right there, I'm going to stop.